Podcast, WATP.
We have to talk about Steel Toe. And I know people think that, oh, it's just convenient. I am so invested in this thing. I cannot take my eyes off of what's going on with Steel Toe. It's the craziest storyline that's ever happened in the Dabbleverse. And I have to declare right now, I must be the most naive person on earth, because I never thought in a million years people could be this awful. That's why I came out and was giving Aaron the benefit of the doubt and saying, yeah, this has to be a work. There's no way he'd be treating his divorce like this. And it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. I know you're paying attention to this, Bryan.
Dude, I could be going through a divorce on my own, and I would still be paying more attention to this one.
Yes. So just to get people caught up, and I do want to play some clips on here. I want to react to Aaron, even though I know it's kind of boring. I'm not going to do that forever, obviously, because Aaron's been talking about me a lot without knowing anything that I've said or what we're doing over here. So I want to address some of that. But if you don't know what's going on, I came on the show and I said, this is crazy. Aaron is implying that April Imholte, who was on the show just in May, beginning of April, end of March, now he's implying that she has a drug problem and that he's decided not to be a drug addict, and that's why the show's going to be good and he couldn't be with her anymore. And since then, he's just come out and said it. He's just like, yeah, I've been doing coke and Molly over the last few months and I don't do that stuff anymore. I'm not saying what anyone else is doing. I'm just saying, no, you've said it all. You said that April's doing this thing. You want to stop doing that thing, so you're not doing it anymore. And then a couple days later, I was doing coke and Molly. It's like, don't act like you're not telling us exactly what's going on. And again, I want to give Aaron the benefit of the doubt. I want to say there's no way that he's actually telling us all of this, because he's feeding the trolls more than the trolls should ever be fed. It's bad for them. It's like getting a fucking gremlin wet. What are you doing? This is just going to reproduce. It's going to build a much bigger universe of Aaron haters, the way you're treating this. Shout out to Mike Boudet, by the way, from Sword and Scale. I've been messaging about this. He's glued to it. I mean, I've been messaging so many people who are, I'll just say, Melton did 8 hours yesterday. And it's hard to do 8 hours of anything and keep it interesting. But I was riveted with what is going on right now, because not only is Aaron's ex-wife, or I guess they're going through a divorce, April, not only is he saying that she's a drug addict, but Nick Rekieta is also having this weird meltdown on his show. And of course, the Rikietas and the Imholtes were BFFs and spending days together over at the Rikietas' house and doing shows from the hot tub. So it's all so bizarre that all of this is happening at the same time. And it seems staged. It seems like a WWE storyline. Am I crazy to say that?
I don't think so. It does seem that way, and knowing what a fan of wrestling he is,
right?
It would make sense that he would. I mean, but I think it's beyond him, though. Like, I don't think he has the ability to pull off something like this. And then suddenly April's going to pop out and be like, no, I'm not a drug-addled bad stepmom.
I'm still holding out hope. I'm still holding out hope that this is all a work and that they've really ratcheted it up to the point where you're like, holy shit, this is the greatest work in the history of podcasting. I don't think so at this point, because it seems like this is a little bit impressive. It would be so impressive if that were the case.
Last night was the first night I'd ever seen Nick Rekieta, like, aside from the hot tub shots. Like, I'd never seen his live show. I wasn't even aware he had one.
Yeah.
But does he normally behave like that, or was that an exception?
Let's talk about Nick Rekieta, because I've hung out with him twice. We met up in Tampa when I did the Dick Show down there, and then he was also in Philly with us when we did the crossover with the Dick Show in Philly. And my impression of Nick, my takeaway of him, he's a family guy. He's got 5 kids. He's always there with his wife. And all the conversations I had, I'm like, this guy's got his shit together. Much more so than I do. And my takeaway was always like, oh, okay, Nick's an attorney. He's turned that into his own YouTube and Rumble presence, and he makes a living off of that. And really, he got big. He was already doing well. He got big during the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. He was covering it so well. More people were watching him than watching major mainstream news outlets talk about it, because he was really breaking down the case and doing a great job. And so now it's funny. I was like watching Tukey last night, and Tukey's going, this guy's got 400,000 subs. Why? Just because he gets drunk on his live stream? Like, no, this is not how he built his audience. That's what's so crazy about this. Because, and we'll get to it in a second, but Nick was a very well-respected, he was a practicing attorney, and then he was able to give up the practice because he was doing so well talking about law on his show. And he's entertaining and compelling and interesting. And I don't know what's going on with him now. Because, and I've been getting those from people for months. Like, you got to look into Nick. He's on some type of bender. Something bad is happening right here. And there's a lot of speculation. Is April living with them? Is Nikki Rackets and Mrs. Rackets on the outs? We don't know what's going on, Bryan.
Well, that was furthered last night at the very end of that stream.
Yes.
Where an unidentified female voice came from the dark.
Yeah, so
it's still going.
So Nick Rekieta is doing his stream, and he's very drunk. He's very wasted. Maybe some of it's being put on, although I don't know why you would do that. It's like when I had Jim Norton over here. We were watching Anne Heche's podcast. I'm like, wow, she's out of her mind right now. And then later she ended up driving her car into a house and dying. And Jim naively, like me, I'm naive too. Is like, well, maybe she's putting on an act. Maybe that's a thing you want to do. I'm like, no, that doesn't help you in your career. And I got to think that if Nick Rekieta is pretending to be this wasted and drunk on his stream, that's probably not a good thing either. So I got to think that it's real, right?
It seemed real. I mean, that dude's eyes were dilated and they were bugged out and all over the place.
Oh,
and like his body was just moving and swaying.
Yeah, and he walked away for like 40 minutes and then just came back and was like streaming the entire time.
Yeah. He did say at one point that his wife was upstairs asleep.
Yes, he did.
Which begs the question then, who is the unidentified female? So, of course.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. So to get back to what you were saying, at the very end of his stream, he thinks he turns it off, and you hear someone in the room go, "It's not off yet." He's like, "Yeah, no, it is." And he's like, "Oh," and then he turns it off. So there's someone in that room, and he had said that his wife was upstairs sleeping. So a lot of speculation.
That's the biggest cliffhanger to a soap opera episode that I've ever heard in my entire
I know! It's crazy.
Beautiful.
That's why I can't believe any of this is real. But let me first just address what our buddy Aaron was saying. I think what Aaron did, and this is a mistake that a lot of people have made with me, is they see a thumbnail and a show title, and they go, oh, I know what he's talking about.
I get the gist of it.
I saw Carl lost his shit this weekend, too.
Let's start with that. Did I lose my shit this weekend, Chris? We hung out this weekend. Was I losing my shit at any point?
No.
Okay.
I wish. That would have been fun.
It would have been fun. I host a podcast. We talk about other people's podcasts.
It's pretty much the longest.
You've been in the news quite a bit in the world of podcasting. We were discussing it.
Yes.
He's like, Aaron's trying to team up with Zumock and blah, blah. That's a sad thing about Carl, because I always thought Carl was like one of the honest, good ones. And he's just kind of gay internet drama guy, too. And that's really unfortunate. He's like, Aaron's trying to team up with Zumock, and Aaron's as though I'm like clandestinely on the phone with Chad Zumock every day, and our conversations are, hey, should we get this Carl guy?
So he's already creating a narrative that doesn't exist.
Based on the thumbnail.
Based on a thumbnail. I didn't say any of those things. I just said, look at, all of a sudden Aaron is saying that Chad has a good take on something, which is insane, and he was giving him money. He was super chatting him $10. So that's the only thing I commented on. I didn't say there was any behind the scenes. I didn't say anything like that. But so he's creating something that he's creating something that doesn't exist. And then he's going to explain that I'm an idiot for doing these things I didn't do, which is always fun.
Carl, no offense, pumpkin. And look, he talked about me on his show. He sent me texts this week. He was like, oh, Zumock has good points. Now I know it's a work. And I'm like, dude, this is your private time away from doing shows and shit.
Okay, so let me comment on that. I don't know why he says this. He brings it up multiple times in this video that we're watching right here. In my private time. So here's what I do for a living. Here's what my job is. I watch podcasts, I pull clips, I play those clips, and then I review them. The clip that you're referring to that I texted you about was on my show. You would know that if you watched it. That's not my private time. But he's making up this thing where I'm just like, well, I got done with the podcast. Now what should I do? Ooh, let's see what Aaron Imholt's up to in my private time. It's my job.
Narcissist.
There is no way you're texting someone about Chad Zumock. Like, again,
Because then that means you're spending time worrying and thinking about.
That means
No, I was making fun of you, Aaron. When I texted you, I go, really? You think that Chad's got good points? Well, you've really lost it, or it has to be at work. I was making fun of you.
he's spending.
In your defense, you can have fun while you're working.
That's true, too. I do enjoy my job quite a bit. It used to be my hobby.
Right.
I'm thinking about whether Aaron and Chad Zumock are teaming up. I think about Chad Zumock 0.3 times a month on
That doesn't make any sense. You can't think about somebody 0.3 times a month, but okay. Good stuff. Keep going.
my show, and 0.0 times ever once the show's over. Like, the show is in show internet land. I live in the real world. So, like,
Do you prep for your show? Are you thinking about your show when you prep for your show? Because that's what I'm thinking about my show when I do my prep.
Carl's like, is he teaming up with Chad Zumock and blah, blah. No, Carl, that's the shit you think about. And that's unfortunate because you're not an uncool guy. Like, I liked Carl. He was
Thank you.
a nice enough guy.
I agree.
I was on his show, did a great job on his show.
Okay.
He's been on here. He did a great job here.
All right, yeah.
Told us we had a good show, good broadcasters, so
You used to.
on and so forth. And then I think, like, I don't know if he has to suck Melton dick or what.
I've never agreed with Melton on anything. And that's the point that everyone's missing right now. They're like, oh, they got to sell Hackamania tickets, so now Carl's kissing Melton's ass. I've literally gone out every time and been like, I think Melton's off on this one. And by the way, I'm the idiot. And I should know that. Melton knows these guys way better than they know each other. So I obviously am not. And I got a note from that Aussie guy. He's like, Carl, you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to steel toe. And he wants to come on the show and explain it to me. I was like, all right, well, we could do that. I'm okay with being schooled on these things. I don't know everything there is to know. I wasn't paying that much
Who wouldn't want to know
attention.
more about steel toe?
What's that?
I said, who wouldn't want to know more about steel toe?
Yeah, right. Let's find out more about this. I mean, maybe I'll do it in my private time, whatever that means. I don't punch a clock.
His condescension is off the charts, man.
Yes. All right, let's see if he's going to win this argument that he created.
He just got really, really internet gossipy drama weird.
I got internet gossipy weird. I review podcasts for a living, Aaron. You were on your show talking about super chatting Chad Zumock. That's interesting. Chad tried to ruin your life and maybe succeeded. So that's interesting.
And now he's like, Steel Toe's a liar. It's like, well, what am I lying about? You and I have talked on the phone. You and I.
I explained that we did talk on the phone. I explained what that conversation was. So now he's making up what I said he lied about. Aaron, what I said you lied about is the thing that you admitted to lying about. That things were great with you in April. And then when you realized it wasn't going to work out, then you came back and went, okay, I was lying about all of that. April and I are actually getting a divorce. She doesn't live here anymore. But you were lying the entire time leading up to that. That's what the thing I said that you were lying about, not whether we had a phone conversation. I've explained the phone conversation.
You and I have talked on the phone. You and I have
So you're
texted.
saying we haven't had a nice relationship?
Yeah. He's kind of like the politician in
Watch the fucking video and then comment on it.
Casino when Robert De Niro's like, did you not have dinner at my casino that night? Did you not have dinner?
Not have dinner.
Were you at that dinner?
Give me that much.
At least give me that much. Were you at that dinner? Yes, I was at that dinner. Thank you for not calling me a liar, at least. Yeah, Carl's kind of doing the state senator Pat Webb thing, or county commissioner Pat Webb thing.
Pretty sure
But
he's
it's sad
misquoting
'cause,
the
I mean-
movie.
Yeah, right.
He's actually misquoting the movie right there. I saw in the chat because I did watch this. People are like, more movie quotes.
He does do that quite a bit. Yeah, Principal Uncertainty says, Aaron's about to join the anti-Carl alliance of Chad, KB, and Stutcho. That is correct, because apparently Aaron is going to be on MLC tomorrow with Chad Zumock.
Oh.
And so the fireworks there are, holy shit, Chad, who decided that's where the mud shark came from. When Aaron was goofing on Chad went, well, I don't just goof on people. I reach out to their ex-wives and I post pictures of their kids. And I say that they're a horrible father. And I dig up all this dirt on them cheating on
I'm
their
a
wives.
professional is what he's saying.
Yeah, Chad Zumock did something that I never do, where Chad went in and went, well, I'm going to find out that you were cheating on your wife while she was pregnant, and I'm going to make that available for everyone to know about, and I'm going to be a big prick to you. So now Aaron is going, all right, well, I'm going to go on MLC and talk to Chad. So you'd think like, oh, this is going to be explosive. Kevin Brennan this week goes, I want to get Aaron on here to talk shit about Carl. KB's angle. He doesn't even realize what the angle is. KB hates me so much. He's just like, let's get Chad and Aaron together and they can talk about Carl.
Yeah. Point, Carl, point.
Why? What does Aaron have to do with? I don't understand how I'm getting dragged into the middle of this all of a sudden. People are saying I have no business being in it.
And even at that, two people that don't really have a close personal relationship with you, like what more are they going to reveal other than what they see?
Correct. I've literally exchanged some text messages with Chad way back many years ago. And I've exchanged text messages with Aaron. I've never met either of them face to face. I don't know what they're going to say outside of the observations that anyone can make about me. But let's get back to this.
I mean, if you really like, not that you would or should go to this, but you could go like, jilted drama bitch on the internet. Look at the text messages. This is where he was nice to me.
Johnny Crutch is a retard. That's not what this is. So these guys are already having this conversation and this argument about stuff that has nothing to do with reality at all. And then they're digging deeper into it. Well, yeah, then you could actually show the text messages where you guys were texting. That's not up for dispute. I know that.
I mean, is that what he wants? Is that what they want? They want you to just answer back like, we were friends once.
Like I said, I won't because that's fucking gay. But yeah, like he went off. He's like, he's cringe and he's a liar. It's like, first of all, we're all cringe. Look what we're doing.
I never said he was cringe. I don't really use that word.
I was going to say cringe is not in your vernacular.
No, we have a cringe of the week. I play a drop, but I don't really say cringe. But he's saying
especially not in your private
say
life.
Cringe. Yeah, all right.
In your private time.
It's so cringe.
Thank you, John.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, you're sitting there spending your free time thinking about whether Chad Zumock and I are teaming up. You can't.
No, I'm not. I promise you that. I wasn't wondering whether you're teaming up. I know Chad hates you. I think it's sad and desperate that you're reaching out to him now just because Chad's talking shit about me.
You can't call anyone else cringe if you think, Carl, no offense, buddy. And I know someday when you're 52 years old, you'll figure this out. You cannot spend your free time thinking about whether or not Chad Zumock and Aaron Imholte from Steel Toe are forming an alliance and call anyone else in this world cringe. It's problematic.
Why would I figure that when I'm 52? What was the joke there?
I thought that was a weird age, too. Just seemed random.
It is a weird age, I'll tell you.
I think he's saying you look young.
I do look young.
What's his obsession with free time?
I don't know. He keeps bringing up over and over again. Can you believe this is what he's thinking about on his free time? Can you believe this guy on his free time? I host a show called Who Are These Podcasts, Aaron? I know. I'm not a mechanical engineer. He's making it seem like I'm on the Steel Toe Boring Show subreddit 24 hours a day, just on every thread. You know what else Aaron said? What a loser. Him and Chad Zumock. Like, I've never posted in that subreddit.
Does he picture you guys are just like standing around like a war map?
Like
just,
we're texting
pushing
and
their pieces?
Yeah, you need to
We'll cover
invade
this part of the internet and we'll crush the western flank.
Yes.
No, that's not how it works.
You'll invade WATP from the left flank, and I will from the right, and we'll form a pincer move, and we'll
Run with it.
imagine being that fucking lame that you think that way. Oh, that whole universe is just full of retards.
He thinks that way.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why he made all that up.
I wouldn't have thought of any of those things. I didn't say any of those things. He's the one who brought all of that up. He's dishonest at best.
Yeah, he's like, imagine being that way. Imagine the way I imagine.
Right. He's imagining. That's what he's imagining. Is someone being that way. I wasn't. Watch the video. I didn't say any of those things. I'm not thinking any of those things.
Oh, man. I've gotten out of 2 toxic communities in the last year. Oh, boy.
And he cannot stop talking about April. That was another reference to April right there.
Yeah.
It's so nuts. Like, dude, I love it. Keep doing it. But you're not fooling anyone. We all understand the subcontext of this.
I mean, that guy, he's a weirdo. I mean, he's just too into the internet and the drama and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. And he's following podcasts and what they say on podcasts. He's pulling clips and talking about them. What a weirdo.
This is all new to Aaron.
Yeah, right. Why would somebody do all of this? It's so crazy. All right, so this is the clip that I was referring to earlier where he's now... So I brought up the fact that he's dishonest. He was saying all along that things were great, and he's always said that his shows are great, and he's doing a great job. And then he comes out and admits that that's not the case.
But all I said was that, I'm back to kind of the old radio days where I let the audience in on my life a little more. I talk about my life a little more. The show becomes a little more genuine and less put on.
Well, that's weird. So now he's actually able to put a show on that's genuine and not put on? He never told us that he was just putting one on before, did he?
He's hinted several times since this all started up that April was controlling him like a puppet almost, like a marionette.
How is that possible? Could you imagine if I came on WATP and I said, guys, I actually think Opie was way better than Anthony on O&A, but you get it. Like, I have to pretend that I think Opie sucks, just pretending so I can keep this thing going that I'm doing. Like, I would lose all credibility immediately.
Jenny Jingles is behind you being like, sell it better.
Yeah, I know. Like, no one would ever listen to my show ever again if I came on here and I went, yeah, the last 6 years of shit I've been saying, I didn't mean any of it. I had to do that for the show. I was putting that on.
That'd be the last day we spoke.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That's what he's doing now.
Than it had been in the past. I feel like I covered up a lot of myself to satisfy others. And now it's, I'm in this house all by my lonesome. And I call all the shots. And I got no GM and I got no nothing. It's for the first time in Steel Toe history, there is no boss but me. And now I get to craft a program the way I'd like to craft a program. And sometimes the way I'd like to craft a program is talking about things that are going on in my life and adjacent to my life and things that are interesting.
Okay, cool. Let's see how that works for you. Let's see if that's a better program than what you've been doing. Someone brought up, why doesn't he just rebrand?
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, Steel Toe, everyone knows all this drama and the falling out and everything like that. Like, he could be like Kyle Dunnigan and do like one of those AI faces or something.
Carl, he already got the cool sign made. I mean,
well, that's true. That is a pretty sweet set he's got.
The show's been crafted.
But this is the problem with being one of these guys who hypes himself up all the time. We had another great week. This is going to be another great week coming up. We got a great show for you. What a great show. I was talking to April. She said our shows have been great lately. I'm back on top. I'm on fire. 3 weeks later, listen, I haven't been able to do the shows that I want to do, but I'm going to start doing it soon. It's like, you have zero credibility now. You've lost any credibility that you might have when you do things like that. And I want to...
He was going on and on about how he was going to start saying what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be bridled anymore.
Well, it seems like he is now, which is fun because he's just calling everyone a cokehead and everyone's into Molly and stuff. So shout out to Soft Weekly for this gem from his YouTube channel, because this goes to what I was just talking about.
Health time. And I have always cut it straight with this audience. I have always told the audience what's up. I've always kept the audience abreast on any changes that are coming or anything that's going on.
Didn't he just say that he wasn't able to be honest with the audience and that now he's finally able to be honest with the audience? Because that's from an old video right there. So I call bullshit.
Guys, I haven't been myself for 3 years. I'm sorry.
You're right. Yeah, you better start being yourself soon.
I will.
We're going to have a talking.
couple years.
We're going to have a talking. All right. And then the last thing I wanted to play, and what really annoyed me with Aaron Imholte was when he came on after April left the show and he said, guys, I'm a narcissist. This is on me. My fault. I brought my wife onto the show. I had no business dragging her into this nonsense and all these feuds. And it really wasn't good for her. And I need to get help and I need to get work. And then he came back a week later and he said, turns out I'm not a narcissist. I don't need any work and things are good. So right there, I go, well, hold on a second. So you're using that as like a way out. So they're like, oh, you can't judge me. I'm doing the work. I know I have a problem. That's the same thing with drug addicts. Like, dude, you think I have a problem? You think I don't know I have a fucking problem? I'm beating myself up over here. I don't want to keep doing drugs. Why are you coming down on me? I come down harder on myself. Then you can come down on me. It's like, oh, go fuck yourself, asshole. So he's watching Nick Rekieta's stream, the one where Nick was drunk the other night. And this is what we were just pointing out with Stuttering John and producer Chris's daughter. This is performative empathy. This is a trait of a narcissist. And boy, does he pull this off perfectly.
You have a lot to fucking offer. You're not a fucking idiot.
Shout out to My Lost Interest for pulling this clip, by the way, for us. So he's watching Nick Rekieta be very drunk, and he's so upset.
oh man, I fucking love this guy. What's he doing? You're not a bad guy either. But this ain't good. This needs to be addressed. This doesn't need to take 2 days off.
How do I reach these kids?
Stop.
Oh, is that an asshole? An asshole. Here I am. A bunch of degenerate Japanese shit in my air cone because he can't fucking spade it. He can't read. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, my nervous rate is below Obama levels.
What?
Do you want me to be drunk like this tomorrow? Every day. I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
See, now that worries the fuck out of me.
Does it?
You want me to be drunk like this tomorrow? Every day? Who fucking cares? That's a cry for help. I wish I could ha-ha at this like everybody else is. This angers me. Because I got treated like a fucking pariah because I said fucking slow down.
Oh, he's trying to cry.
Yeah.
He's trying to work up tears right now. It's so real to me, damn it.
It's like if he cuts out Matt, he could put it on his reel for an audition.
Yes.
You know?
So also what he's saying here is crazy because he's explaining when they were all buddies and him and his wife were hanging out with Nick and his wife and they're all doing coke and Molly together because this is his words, not mine. And so now he's going, and look at what it's turned into, man. And I told him, we got to slow down on all these heavy drugs. And he was like, get the fuck out of here, man. I know what I'm doing. I got this. So dramatic.
Like an after-school special.
Yes. It reminds me there was a 90210 where Dylan started drinking beer.
Dylan, you don't want to try this, man. Makes everything better. You're not going to like it.
Lucy has never had less respect for me. And she just did. Look at her. She was like, what? She wasn't ready for a 90210 reference.
I was not expecting that.
Anyway, it's a great episode. You should check it out.
All right. I will not be doing that.
I gotta be free of everything involving this.
Yeah.
Because I am not going to have someone's fucking death on my hands.
Jesus Christ.
Stop
I'm watching a guy fucking die.
No, you're not.
Ugh. It's so ridiculous. It's embarrassing. But that's performative empathy, everyone.
He's going to break into song soon.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Jesus.
You have proven that you are a narcissist and dishonest and not someone that you could take.
Can't wait to see what you do next.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. It's fascinating.
Podcast.